Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, hello. My name is Kim. I go by Kimberkiss Cosmic Queen here on YouTube, also known as Kimberkiss. It is freezing in this room. I'm so excited because I got 2 bracelets from Worldwide Gems and Minerals on Instagram. I'll have their link as the first link in the description box below, but this is the 3rd time I've purchased gemstone bracelets from them, and they're always super high quality and very well priced and just beautiful. And I really was into the aquamarine because that's my birthstone. So there's aquamarine here and pink kunzite, and I'm obsessed. They're really pretty. So yeah, I'm just drinking some coffee, relaxing. We're gonna pull a SIRIAN Starseed reading. Yeah, we are. I really want to see what comes through. I hope I turned my volume up so you guys can hear. I'm pretty sure I did. I've been getting channeled messages literally all morning. It's been insane. Yeah, it's like the totalities of the world essences of light are just like flying in. Really trust what you receive, especially during this time. I feel like there's some sort of portal opened up. I'm not exactly sure what kind of portal it is. I do know that yesterday had to have been some sort of like twin flame portal, because I'm still receiving messages about this morning about like twin flame essences and how they coincide with the star systems. That's been like a huge thing. And it's always like there's a brighter star and a second star that's not as bright, but it's like they're the totality of the 2 essences that reside within the same frequency. I don't know how to really describe it except as how I just described it. I'm still waking up, guys, bear with me. But I've been up since 7, and what time is it now? It's like almost 1 p.m. A black dog is walking out. Okay, and Sirius, like, that's what I was just fucking talking about. So I was we're doing a Sirius reading. Tug him. Oh, Lord. So there's Sirius A and Sirius B. And Sirius A is the brightest one. And then there's Sirius B. I also just found out that Sirius glows at a magnitude of negative 1.44. Which, what does that symbolize to you? The 144,000. It's also quite interesting. I was watching an Ancient Aliens episode, and they were talking about federal release documents of UFO from the Pentagon. There was 144 experiences, and they had that like highlighted in red from the actual document itself. So like they did that for a fucking reason. They know what the fuck is up. But Sirius is the dog star. And that's why I'm laughing, because we just had a black dog that literally I never see in our backyard, because like whenever I'm up here filming, I either have the blinds closed, or even when I have them open, he never makes himself known in the backyard. And he literally just came out of our neighbor's house and then walked right back in. It's Sirius making itself known, and all through messages this morning. What's also quite interesting is I've been getting messages about the movie Peter Pan. And there's Wendy Moira, Angela Darling. Wendy Moira Darling, and the name of Sirius, like the goddess of Sirius, is Moira. And what color dress does Wendy wear? Blue. And what color does Sirius A put off? White blue. It's a white blue star. It's a loyal star, obviously. And okay, that goes there. It's just funny. I feel like Sirius A. I also feel like, because there's two essences within Canis Major. There's Canis Major and Canis Minor. So there's the larger of the two dogs, right? And then there's Canis Minor as well, which holds Procyon. So it's like these essences of like twinning energies. Even though they're like not exactly the same, they still hold the same essence, yet they're quite different as well, but they both hold very bright stars. And the first star that I was ever firstly drawn to was Procyon, and that's Canis Minor. That's the smaller of the two dogs, but the brightest star in the night sky is Sirius. That does not mean it's the North Star. The North Star is actually Polaris, but it's quite interesting that the brightest star is Sirius. I'm also hearing messages about a name of, like there's a mermaid goddess of Sirius is something that's been channeling through me, and I'm getting something with an M name, and it's so funny because I'll show you why it's funny. I purchased this book, which I could cry right now. That is how amazing this book is. I will be talking more about it coming up, but this is by Jeremy Garner on Instagram. He wrote this book. It's fucking phenomenal. If you feel any ties to water or mermaids or the ocean, like I have to recommend this book. And not even just because like it opens so much with inside of me, but it carries an essence that's like a portal, and I feel like it would just open so much inside of you. Like, that's how good it is. Like, it's so good. It brought me to tears. It's literally like it connected so many dots for me that I can't even begin to describe through human language to you. Like, all of this, that book that I channeled, that I wrote down, like the 45 or 50 pages that I had channeled pertaining to the Oz information, which there will be upcoming parts to that. I just haven't gotten around to filming it yet, but there's upcoming parts to that. There's so much more. And I keep getting more information. It's been so overwhelming, you guys, the amount of channelings that have been coming in. This book connected so many dots for me with what I've been channeling. Like, it was meant for me to read. I'll just read the back of it really quick. In this book, you will learn of mermaids, water elementals, seahorses, water clocks, mirror magic, the Pleiades, and the secret of Pandora's box. Learn how to create your own sigils with which to invoke the undines to help draw your desires to you, and discover magic words of power through an included divination and alphabet system to uncover hidden information about names, letters, and events. This book describes lost and ancient water cities, secrets of forgotten treasures and talismans, and information on Venus, Aphrodite, and other related goddesses. Featuring original artwork and poetry by several collaborators, this is the first volume of the Book of Water, serving as a continuation of the previous books of Fire and Air. It explores 10 consecutive days spent in the land of water, followed by deeper research and insights into what was found there. The Book of Water is probably one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. I would say like my first favorite book that I read concerning the ocean, when I first found out that I was Pleiadian and then I was digging into Lemuria because I became so obsessed with it, would be this book of Lemuria that I always recommend. The Lost Civilization of Lemuria by Frank Joseph. But this book by Jeremy Garner, like, I'm in awe. So if you have any of this longing to read this, like I did, I mean, you have to read it. I don't know what else to tell you. It's very fairly priced too. Like, it was such a good price. It was such good messages and connected so many dots for me. But I'm getting that, to go back into the reading, I'm getting that there is a mermaid goddess of Sirius. Her name starts with an M, which is described in here that most of the water names start with an M. Like there's Mer, there's Marsh, there's Mermaid. This is so cool because he says in here, you know, the letter A is a form of a Triskelion. And I'm not going to read much of this, obviously, but the M is significant, right? Because we were talking basically that many of the terminologies in English that pertain to water start with M. Starts with an M, and we were talking about the M on the palm of the hand. And what's interesting is when I was looking at my hand, like my palm, because it also has to do with magic and it also has to do with Mary Magdalene. And I was like really looking at my palm, and I literally have two M's. I have a large M and a smaller M. And that's like Sirius. That's like, and it's not even just Sirius, it's Canis Major and Canis Minor itself. It's a twin energy is what I'm saying. And it has a lot to do with water. Like our ancestors, dolphins and whales, originated from Sirius. Their etheric consciousnesses still integrate through us when we are in the presence of whales and dolphins, and even viewing them through the internet, we can receive those telepathic activations. And I talk about this a lot, but it's really important, especially when pertaining to Sirius. But what was I getting? Oh, that there's a mermaid goddess that's pertaining to Sirius. And there's a goddess named Moira, right? Moira, so there's another M, but which pertains to Wendy, which would be an upside down M. W is an upside down M. There's a connection here with Cassiopeia, I think, too, because the Cassiopeia is the W. What else am I getting here? I'm getting that, I was getting that there's a mermaid with an M name. And I was getting something to do with Martha, the name Martha. So I'm going to look more into this. Definitely an M name though. And I yes, it's Moira, but there's something else there. And I believe this goddess Moira, it's definitely, I mean, I'll insert some information here, I guess, because I'm not able to describe it at this time. I'm trying to channel and it's hurting my head. Okay. It's also interesting because I was getting messages in my last reading. It was the dream reading, so it was actually the channeled message from your divine masculine, the most recent twin flame reading that's on my channel, because I did 5 yesterday. It's the one where I'm literally just channeling. I'm not even using cards. I pulled like 1 card and then I channeled the rest of the information. Where I'm talking about the dream that I had the night prior, and it had something to do with a canopy. And I just realized something that's going to revolve or evolve, I should say, into this next coming reading. Not this one, but the next one that I'm going to be doing. Okay, just to give a clue. So, Sirius, it's so intriguing to me that I've been researching Oz and the letter Z and what that represents. Z refers to 7 as well, which I just found out. And there's the 7 sisters of Pleiades, which are the daughters of Atlas. There's just so much like ocean energy attached to these constellations. And it's like more than that. And it's like more than they let on or dare to explain. The cosmic ocean, the cosmic sea. And I've even had like actual experiences through light body form where I've fallen through the sky and landed in water.
Almost like flying around this mountain, this really steep mountain that had snow and rocks. and almost like rainbows along the side of it. And I was just flying across this mountain, the side of this mountain, and I was going underneath the rainbows. And then I came across this portal, and this portal was in the shape of a triangle. A visual, like a pyramid almost, okay? And see the spiral at the top here? That spiral? Well, there was a spiral inside the triangle, but it was the shape of the triangle, so it was like this. And I saw that out of it actually was shooting a rainbow itself. So I decided to go through. So I jump on this rainbow and I like slide down it almost like a fireman's pole. And I slide down and then I hit this other portal. And it looked like a mirror that had these weird shaped rocks and crystals all around it. And the mirror itself looked like the sky of stars, like the cosmos, but it was blue, very blue, like a color like this, like a deeper blue. And so I proceeded to go through that. Well, it broke. It was like a mirror. It was a mirror portal. It shattered. I went through that, and then I saw another portal that was in the shape of a circle. And this one looked to me like the sky. There was clouds. It was blue. So I went through that, and as soon as I went through that, there was a big splash. And I went underwater, and I came back up, and there were clouds alongside of me. Very cottony almost, very light and airy. But I was able to hold on to them and float. And when I held on to them, they felt, you know, exactly like cotton, like a light cotton, but I was able to float onto them. And I was just floating with the ocean. And it was like, almost like as above, so below. It was like the cosmic ocean, but it looked like the sky, and I literally fell into the sky. And it was so intense and so beautiful. And it really meant a lot to me to have that vision. And since then I've been receiving more, but that's the main one I'll talk about.
Yet it was the sky. So, you know how they say as above, so below, but it's so much more than that. I've been getting so much information. I'm sorry, guys. It's just so much that my brain is like, but it's interesting. What I was saying is how I've been researching Oz, and the letter Z has been coming through for years. And then we have Sirius A. So we literally have A to Z. And it's been just sticking out to me. I just saw a black bird fly by. And there's the black crows that are literally overtaking California right now.
Unfortunately, though, the crows are leaving quite the mess on the sidewalks and outdoor dining areas. So now city leaders
That's
are
crazy.
using $20 green lasers, hoping to annoy the birds enough to leave. However, animal rights
I was literally
groups
just
are
talking
saying
about
it's
this.
cool because it can
Which they do reside normally in California. Like the crows are known to reside there, but there's like a huge influx of crow activity going on right now in California. It's quite interesting that I recently just channeled the birds, that I recently just channeled the name Corvus, which is the crow or the raven, the black bird. And I just saw a raven light language like the night before that.
I'm sending a raven, blackbird in the sky, sending a signal that I'm here, some sign of life.
So there's just a lot of messages coming through from the stars. And it's interesting how they're kind of visiting each other now. That's another huge message. Like the constellations and the stars themselves have been visiting other stars. Like they've been trying to learn and understand one another. Is that because that's what we're trying to do now? Is that what's actually going to start being reflected down here? Because what I channeled a long time ago in a video was that the constellations are like separated. And what are we down here? We're separated. But I feel like prior to that, they were all connected as one. Kind of like how all the the continents were connected as one, as Pangea, but I feel like now they're starting to come together. Maybe not so much in a physical sense, but in an etheric understanding, and light body travel sense. Does that make sense? It's like, I wouldn't even say like visitation from aliens, like, which, well, that can definitely be occurring. I feel like that's always occurring though. I feel like it's these stars really starting to open their minds up to the fact that there's neighboring stars that they can really, really take on their essences and learn from each other. And I feel like that's what's going to be starting to reflect down here. And I'll explain why in an upcoming video, why I've been getting that a lot. But it actually just started being presented to me this morning. And it's huge. And it's kind of like a revelation that wasn't meant to happen until this morning. So that way we can start to ascend from that point of perspective now. Okay. There's a mermaid goddess of Sirius, and I'm going to find out what this energy is. Because it's being presented and it's coming through really, really intensely. Okay. So in the past, we're going to get into your Sirian energies. I'm sorry, I just kind of had to explain all of that. In the past energies, Sirian starseeds, you took leaps of faith that weren't very well thought out. I'm getting a very impulsive energy from you. And while the waters can act quite sporadically, and that is the essence that we're connecting to when we connect to Sirius, it's a water energy. Hands down, has to be. You were sporadic. You were not thinking things through in the past. This led to a lot of like weight that you had to carry. It's like when you fill up a bag of water or a bucket of water and you're trying to carry it. It's like you've acquired so much knowledge of these waters that it's almost become a burden because you haven't found a release for them. And so you've carried on this weight of knowledge or just intuitive downloads from this water force. And in a sense, it was good because it was meant to happen that way. But now you're seeing that there's something you have to do with this knowledge in order for this weight to be released. So this is really showing me, like, at the beginning, when I looked at the bottom of the deck, before I even pulled cards for you, I saw the High Priestess in reverse. And I didn't understand it at first, and now I do. It was you not trusting your intuition. And you're still working through this process, as I believe we all are, because before we came here, we had an intuition that was already integrated and it was already understood. And then we were separated through physical body form and etheric consciousness, leading into the need to acquire this intuitive etheric consciousness that we felt separated from. But in a sense, it's always still been there, but we've always had to rediscover this for ourselves along our own paths and journeys. So that's what I'm seeing you make way for now. I'm also seeing you taking this water energy and putting it into different cups, different creations, different passions, different ways of being. You are shapeshifters. If you are of water essence and of water knowledge, you understand that shapeshifting is just a natural byproduct of what water does. If you look at the 4 elements, there is water within all of them, even if you fail to realize. For isn't the soil still moist, and that is of the earth? And for isn't the air still full of clouds, and isn't that of water? So it's like you understand. And even if fire does happen to precipitate water, there are still essences of water within the fire. Because when our bodies are burned, that still goes back into the air, which is still essences of water. And these passions that arise within our being are still arising within a form that carries 70% of water. So there is still ways to make these energies work. And why I'm saying this, I'm not quite sure, but it's quite interesting because most of my natal chart is mostly fire-based and water. A little bit more fire than water. Even though I am a Pisces sun and moon, I am still a Sagittarius rising. I mainly hold water, fire, and earth. But when you look to older astrology systems, such as the Draconic astrology system, which this was brought to light to me through a friend, is that you can be quite surprised at the element that you carry the most, which in that accordance of an astrology chart would be air for me, would be Aquarius. So it's interesting to just, I guess, dig in and self-discover. But even through that knowing is the knowing that you aren't as knowing as you might think you're knowing. It's almost like the acquiring of knowledge provides you even more unknowledgeable than you may perceive yourself to have been. So it's a constant cycle of knowing. It's like the water cycles of knowing is what they're saying, the water cycles of knowing. So we go through these different cyclical patterns and rebirthal patterns. And even water itself does this. It goes through the matters, the different forms of matter, right? But in etheric form, wouldn't it be plasma? So there's like this plasmic consciousness that supersedes or overrides even the consciousness of water that's here on the earth at this time. So if we can tap into that plasmic consciousness, we learn, but we also unlearn simultaneously. And we're still going to continuously be going through cycles, as nothing is ever stabilized or stable. And that's why water likes earth, because they view earth as stable and grounded. But is it? Because if the earth is also containing water, then it also goes through these cycles. So you view it as being something opposite that of which it already has, that can't be opposite from it, because if it holds a part of it, then it is an essence of it. So that means it goes through the cycles, that of which are the same. So it's interesting because I am seeing a lot of fire energy like building up inside of you. At the bottom layers here, we have the 3 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, the King of Wands, the 6 of Wands, the Lovers, which would be a twin flame energy. And notice how they call it twin flame. It's that fiery connection. And we also have the 10 of Wands. We only have one essence of water here, which I would consider air, because it's swords, but it's a balancing out of this air and water. It's a knowing how to foresee everything simultaneously. And this is the essence that Sirius has. Why? Because it's the brightest shining star, which means you can foresee into it, and it can foresee everything. I'm also getting messages about Osiris, and it was interesting because I was looking into Z, and then there's Oz, Iris. What is the iris? Iris is the eye. So it's like being able to see with the energies of Sirius and lighting up perspectives that perhaps had been in dormant crevices of the mind that are now being shown into the light to be able to perceive and expand. It's like the expanding of consciousness, I guess. What else am I getting here? Sorry guys, I'm just rambling on, but this is just how I channel. It's just, if you've been here, you know. We have the 3 of Cups in reverse. Making water into wine. But what is wine really? Wine is the life force, that of which is blood. Blood is also a water element. So tapping into all essences of your life force energy. It's not just physical, and it's not just etheric, it's all of it. Otherwise it wouldn't be. And I'm really seeing this, what I was getting to is these fiery energies that are lit up underneath these top cards. It's like they want to outshow the brightness that of which is already there, but they don't have to because they already see it. So it's like this energy of perhaps you wanting to compete with an essence of you that you thought was less of you prior to this moment in time, that you want to like prove to yourself, but you already know and see that you are this. So it's the integrating of that consciousness. I'm also getting a lot of you Sirians are protectors. Not only are you very loyal, just as dogs are here, but you're very protective energies. So while you like to be open, you also like to be closed. Kind of like the umbrella. It's like you like to be open and protect a multitude of star seeds or star constellations or essences, but at the same time, you also like to keep to yourself. You like to close up that knowledge and kind of keep it to yourself sometimes, which has led to this, which is why it's time in this moment now, if you're watching this, because this is timeless, which means you can watch it anytime, you are dispersing this knowledge. And this is very sacred knowledge. This is knowledge that resides within your essence, within your blood, within your waters. It's already there within your DNA. It's already there within your consciousness. It's already there within your light body. So you understand the essence of Sirius and what it means. And now it's time to share it with the world. And this is causing you to want to repel or invert like the umbrella and keep it, like, because you're so used to that, right? And you're scared to present this information into the world because you're afraid it won't be accepted or celebrated. But they're asking you to go forth with your knowledge and wisdom, the Ace of Swords, cutting through all those disbeliefs and patterns that held you back. You were holding way too many swords. Remember, the air is also an essence of water. You're here to speak the truth. You've seen all the mistruths. And you've held on to so many mistruths for so long because they were programmed. But now you see the light, that of which is the brightest star within the sky, Sirius. And now you're here as a messenger to reveal this truth and the one truth, that of which rises above all truths to the world. It's a combination of one and many, all in one essence, yet multiple essences, and you're here to deliver it. Through your passions, I'm hearing, through your passions, through this fiery energy. Yes, you can incorporate all these elements and utilize them to your best benefit, and you don't have to think about it. It just happens naturally for you. People might not perceive this information correctly. People may perceive it the wrong way because you're helping them to deprogram. But it's also good because you're learning from this deprogramming. You're learning more from this deprogramming. And you're learning how to understand compassionate ways and nurturing ways to go about delivering this information. Not so much of a forceful way. You see, you keep it balanced here with the Ace of Swords, the King of Swords. You keep it balanced. And you bring this essence of twin flame energy through your essence. Here with the Lovers. I will get into more 3D perspectives as well, but this is the essence they want me to deliver to you through this section of your reading. We have the Chariot, which is forward movement. It's you going forth here to deliver an understanding of duality that's never been expressed before on the planet. You do it so effortlessly. Do it in ways that help people to understand it in simplified terms, just through the essence that of which you voice, through the essence, your voice of the waters. You are the voice of the waters, they're saying. You're the voice of the waters. And It cuts through the air, which means it cuts through the disbelief. It cuts through, it's the truth that permeates all. And it brings an essence of understanding of all the stars with it. Because it's like you acknowledged all the stars. You acknowledged all the people. You acknowledged all the essences. You had this understanding before you even understood what that understanding was. You're here to share it moving forward. And so, yeah, that's a huge message that I'm getting. You went down the yellow brick road. You went down the rabbit hole, a winding path. But it was to get you to see and to open your eyes and to understand all these different levels of being and consciousness, that of which you already held. But you had to see it for yourself. I'm also seeing a lot of dreams or energies keeping you up at night. I'm also seeing you go through a hermit phase. And I'm also seeing you leave behind things that caused you a lot of conflict in the past. You viewed that period of time as tumultuous and bad luck, but now you're understanding and you're sitting in your solidified truth. Okay. So we're going to get into more 3D messages about what you've been experiencing as well. Keep hearing like the changing of the tides will come in a loving embrace. Maybe not at first, but never forget the truth that you hold. It's the totality of water consciousness, that of which is remembrance, because it's always been there. Now you're just seeing it. I have a mermaid card in here. You don't belong in here. Queen of Swords. Yeah, pointed towards the Lemurian crystal. I highly recommend Sirians to, you don't have to, but definitely look into purchasing a Lemurian crystal. It doesn't have to be a big piece, it can be a tiny little piece. Like I have a tiny little wand of Lemurian crystal that is so potent, and I receive my most vast and amazing downloads from it. And I just highly recommend you investing in one and holding it and working with it and just seeing what comes through. You're here to like literally bring this pure truth to the world that hasn't been tainted by pollution. It's being re-recognized. Okay, let's see what else we get. It's like the crystallized understanding without needing technology to access it. You are the technology, the organic technology, not the man-made, the organic. Man-made technology, if you think about it, you have to view yourself as the highest level of technology that you know of here. You don't have to, but this is just, okay. So acknowledging yourself as the highest level of technology here, that's physicality form. Now, when you tap into your light body essence, you understand that this can oversee and traverse into higher consciousness ways of being, molding, experiencing, and you hold both essences. So, therefore, if you view it that way, anything man-made would be a second deliverance of that technology to our perceptual awareness, which we are programmed to believe is so much more important than our physical technology, which is actually a higher consciousness of technology that's already here. So if you view it that way, you understand that man-made technology falls through secondary, and we are proceeding. We are the first ones of that technology. We've just forgotten. Okay. Does that make sense? We have the mover. I'm seeing a lot of forward movement, especially with your career. There's an opportunity here, and you are protected. There's that umbrella symbolism again. You are protected. You are protectors. It's asking you to embrace your creativity and get very courageous with this. Don't be afraid to express yourself either. Like, sometimes when I ramble on, I understand that I can look like a fool, but I'm okay with that. And it's learning how to be okay with that. It's learning how to be okay with that. We're transforming our beliefs and the ways that we view things. So if I can ramble on and look like a fool, you can do it too. And it's okay. Like, you never die. You just relive and rebirth, and you constantly do it and do it and do it. Okay? Channeling is quite like that. Channeling is just trusting the universe in what you receive. And then through your understanding of evolved consciousness is what you project out into the world. It's an experience. It's more than that, though. And so it's just getting comfortable with allowing yourself to do it and challenging yourself a little bit more is kind of, I guess, a message. And allowing yourself to express. Because if you hold up and you enclose like the umbrella, there's no way for anyone else to access that information or to evolve the consciousness of the planet. We need you. So it helps the umbrella to open up and then disperse that energy and that frequency and that consciousness out to the world around us. So the message here is to not be afraid to express yourself. Whoever's watching, don't be afraid. If you receive ridicule at first, know that every amazing human that's ever been here that has expressed him or herself has received some form of ridicule. So don't allow that to ever stop you, because you're literally playing a part of a higher consciousness and expanding the consciousness of all beings on this planet. Yeah, you might receive opposition at first, but that's okay. You're coming into your power. You're expressing the hope that needs to be here for the world, because the world has not seen it. We literally have the star, and the star is Sirius. The star is the brightest shining one. You are this essence. Why aren't you shining? It's because of programming. It's because of you're allowing others and yourself mostly to hold yourself back. Don't be afraid to express, just do it. They're saying, don't be afraid to express, just do it. Don't be afraid to express, just do it. Don't be afraid to express, just do it. You are the one here to shine. You expressing and shining is what's literally helping the world. Okay, any other messages? I know this video is getting quite long. I think I expressed everything that I needed to. We'll just see if there's anything else that needs to come through. Don't be afraid to fall either. Many of the brightest stars have fallen multiple times, but they learn through their fails and they learn through their falls, and they acquire more knowledge and acquire a stronger sense of self through those experiences. Everything is a beautiful experience, and it brings you into your character. It brings you into an understanding of the totality of yourself. It's like the mirror for you. Yeah, so it's okay though to be a hermit. Like, you have to just trust when the universe is sending you messages or ways of being, to just trust those moments in your life. So if you're feeling like you want to be a hermit and closed off to the world and just go within and introspect on yourself and kind of put a halt on things, that's okay too. You have to trust what the universe is delivering at the time that it's delivering it, and not feel bad in any way, shape, or form. It's literally a tearing away of programs. Multiple layers of programs. Notice how I was doing that and it looked like I was swimming. We're swimming through the bull crap, right? We're just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. I love Finding Nemo. That's like one of my favorite movies. I love Dory. She's so funny. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Even when a challenge arises, you can still speak well. So we have the challenge in the reverse, the nurture, and the tower. So I see you in the past, Sirians, like really nurturing these like terrible moments that you went through. Like you were paying them too much mind and paying too much attention to them, which caused you issues in your present moment. And while it's okay to like trust that and go through it, You're realizing what you have to do to build towards this frequency instead, that of which is love. So you're rising above the challenge, is what I'm hearing. And you're cultivating a lot of patience here. Though you felt frustration in the past, it's because you were focusing on that. So trust that what you focus on also manifests. You're remembering. It's okay. Like, that's a huge message throughout this reading, is that it's okay. You're remembering. You're remembering. It's okay. Yeah, you have the world in your hands right now. You got the whole world in your hands. You do. You got the whole world in your hands. When it comes to your work, trust. You don't have to be anything other than you. Your essence alone is what provides the world everything that it needs. It's why you're here in the first place. You were birthed through the waters. You hold the water. You are the water, which means you are this consciousness. So trust it. You are the way you are for a reason. And there's a reason for every season. There are ups and downs, and it's okay. You are the reason for this season. Okay? Take it how it resonates. Lots of Aquarians watching this reading, lots of water signs, and also all the others that I mentioned. I'm getting a lot of like Taurus energy watching this. I'm getting Scorpio, Cancer, Leo, Sag, Pisces. It's interesting. Quite a lot here. But Sirius is the encompassing of all when tapped in. So, in a sense, it's just an essence of that. But it's the knowledge that we already know. So they are reiterating earth, air, fire, and water. Earth, air, fire, and water. And the middle point, which is where you can literally utilize and access all those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this made sense. I hope it resonated. I do know that it will in time. And whenever you're drawn to this, trust the time that you're watching it. All my readings are timeless. So whenever you're drawn to any of the readings, they hold activations, frequencies, and messages that you're needing to hear at that time. If you are interested in a starseed reading with me, they are my most popular readings. They are a magical experience unlike anything you will ever experience in your life. I can confidently say that. I've done hundreds of these readings. I am a galactic activation portal in accordance to the Mayan kin and calendar. I love channeling and connecting you with your cosmic origins, your star family. And we do that through cards, and I do that through automatic writing and channeling. And I really connect you in to your most prominent origins. We pull also cards that your beings of light are needing you to hear at this time for your specific frequency zoned into you. So this will help you along your path. This will help you to activate and acquire more of a consciousness expansion within your essence, your light body, your mind. This will also help to bring in what it is that you're needing at this time. So definitely consider that. I have all my information. You can find that on the Etsy shop link, Kimber Kiss Readings, all one word. It's listed in the description box below. You can browse the different readings on my shop. I offer starseed, I offer love readings, I offer just general personal readings, and I offer divinely channeled messages, and I offer timeless readings, such as one like this. So I believe there's 10 different ones, like the Muse, the Ocean Whispers, Lemurian, Atlantean, all of those. Very, very eye-opening and expansive. So I love you all so much. Check it out. Just trust what you're drawn to. If you have any questions, reach out to me at kimberkiss28@gmail.com. And thank you for all the new subscribers. 44 on the clock, depending on when I edit this. I love you all so incredibly much. I'm also seeing a 10 here being depicted as a completion and a new beginning. So thank you for all the new subscribers. I really appreciate all of you. We have so much fun here. Magic just naturally happens here. Make sure to hit that bell so you don't miss any more readings. And until next time, guys and gals, I will talk to you and SIRIAN Starseed.
Key number 134, white, self-existing wizard. I define in order to enchant. Measuring receptivity, I see the output of timelessness with the self-existing tone of form. I am guided by the power of art. And the oracle prayer for today, we call you destiny, white, self-existing wisdom. Help us to become enchanted, so we can experience the power of timelessness. And we call you analog, like-minded power, red, self-existing serpent. Help us to truly experience our power of life force, Kundalini within, so we can survive. And we call you antipode, challenging power, yellow, self-existing seed. Help us to grow and bloom and flower to our higher selves. And we call you occult, hidden, unexpected power, blue planetary hand. Help us to manifest the healing of ourselves and of our planet, Mother Earth, so we can accomplish our dream. And we call you guiding power of today, white, self-existing dog. Help us to always live love and truth deep from the core of our heart. The planet related in the dream spell to white wizard and red serpent is Maldek. We do not have a tuning fork and sound for Maldek, so Jose Aquez Valumbutan will be playing on flute on the White Solar Wind recording. In Lakesh, I am another you. Have an enchanted, white, self-existing wizard day.
I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.